Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hoppy Hour with Bob and Jimmy. Once again, I'm Bob.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are taking you to the dark side of craft brewery in the Wilmington, North Carolina area. Jim, it's winter.
Yes, yes.
Such as it is in North Carolina.
It's cold out there.
It's cold. And during the colder months, folks seem to gravitate more toward a brown ale or a darker beer.
It's kind of a comfort beer. For those dark, dreary days,
Yeah.
you just drink a dark beer.
Dark beer, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it warms you up.
And it warms you up. Well, we've got 6 great dark beers here for you today in 3 different styles. Those styles are brown ale, a porter, and stout. So
Two of
beers,
each.
two of each, right? 2 of each, and we're going to be tasting them and telling you what we're tasting, and they all come from beers, or all come from breweries here in the Wilmington, North Carolina area. And just a little background on a brown ale, Jim, is that it was a style of beer that originated in England back in the 18th century. 18th century, yeah, 1750 or so, right around there is the first recorded mention of a brown ale. It was described to be lightly hopped and more malt forward than most beers. Mm-hmm. So if you're a person that doesn't necessarily like a bitter beer or doesn't like a lot of hops in their beer, the brown ale may be something that would suit your fancy. It was very popular for a long time, but then it kind of fell out of favor for the lighter beers, the lighter ales and lagers that are around. And but most recently, here in the 21st century, it has come back into favor when the craft brewers around the country started their take on the English style of brown ale. And it normally has a lower ABV in England.
I think it's about 4.5 to maybe 5.5.
Right, but here in the United States, an American brown is a little higher.
Yeah, that goes from about 5 to 7, I think. Right.
Also the hops, not that it's very noticeable, but there is a bit of an increase in the IBUs in American brown ales than there are in the English brown ales. So, but according to the folks at expertbrewing.com, and you know, we read them a lot, brown ales should include roasted malt, caramel, and caramel-like and chocolate-like notes and characters. It should be medium intensity in both flavor and aroma. And the American style brown ales have evident moderate to medium hop flavor, as we talked about, and the aroma is medium to a high hop bitterness. Okay, as we said, the history of styles go back to the 18th century, the 1700s, and typically, as we said, a higher ABV. You're looking at probably around 5 to 7% in an American.
Yep.
As opposed to 4 to 6 in the English. We have 2 very good representations of brown ales from 2 wonderful breweries here in town. The first one is
Boardwalk Brown.
Boardwalk Brown comes from the Good Hops Brewing Company down on Carolina Beach on Paradise Island, and it is it's their flagship brown, and it's as you can see in color wise, it's a darker ale ale than you might typically see in a brown ale, but the aroma is very sweet, and definitely malt forward. Has I can smell like toffee and caramel. Taste definitely a very malt forward beer, a much sweeter beer than other ales, but very good mouthfeel, and kind of not creamy, but a smoother mouthfeel than.
Very smooth. It's
Yep.
got the caramel too comes out.
Yeah, it does. Once you taste it, you get a little of that on the back of the tongue. So, excellent beer. Excellent beer.
Yeah,
Again, Good Hops Brewing. They're Boardwalk Brown.
Drinkable beer.
Yep.
And did you tell them about Good Hops facility?
That's right. The brewery, if you get a chance to go down there, it's a wonderful space. They have very dog friendly, as most breweries in the Wilmington area are. They have a nice indoor space. They have a wonderful large outdoor space.
And in the outdoor space, they have disc golf.
Disc golf.
And
They have
it's
a
free.
9-hole disc golf course that's free to play. If you don't have your own discs, they have some down there.
Yep, they do.
But yeah, you should check it out. It's a very nice place. And when you're down there, ask them to pour you a Boardwalk Brown.
That's their flagship.
Yep. So our second brown ale comes from folks that were with us last month, Broomtail.
Right.
Then-
Last month we featured Ecstasy.
Yeah. And this month we get Mo.
Mo beer.
Mo Beer. Mo Beer is their brown ale. It has about a 5.4% ABV and around 24 IBUs in the hops. It's a lighter. It's more
much lighter
traditional
than the,
brown
Yeah.
that you would see in the typical brown ales out there, and it has a nice head retention. Again, a lot of caramel.
Yep.
A lot of in the nose. And the taste is very smooth, very clean.
Oh yeah, that's a very smooth beer.
If you're the type of person that is afraid of a brown ale or a darker beer, okay, you would probably be very surprised by this beer. This is something you could sit and drink easily. It's very clean, has a much, like I said, it's malt flavor, but you get the hops.
Yes.
They come through.
That is what I call a drinkable beer.
Very drinkable beer. Nice.
Oh yeah.
But we thought, instead of like last month where we talked about the different beers and then we drank all 6 of them to taste them.
Were the same.
Yep.
They were the same.
They were the same
type of beer.
type of beer. And since these are so different, we're going to break it up a little bit this time. And we're going to talk now a little bit about porters.
Yep. These next 2 beers are porters, and a porter is a beer that was also developed in the 18th century in England. It derived the name from the street porters, working class people, the river porters, and it was infused. It was a little darker beer because they used black malts, and they did a different style of the brewing on it to get the dark, intense, robust flavor. One thing they did is called decoction brewing, where they would take part of the malt and
Part of the mash?
mash, and boil it separately and then put it back into the main mash.
And they could do that a number of times too.
Not only once, but several times.
Several times if they want.
And to give it more robust flavor. So it worked out pretty nicely. Now, porter is there's a story that porter was a blend of stale beer where they infused it with fresh hops to get it a pleasant drinking beer. But I don't know how true that story is, but and they don't do that today.
Yeah,
I hope.
Thank goodness they don't do that today. So,
And also an interesting fact: porter was originally reverse engineered by a gentleman named Guinness.
Arthur Guinness.
Arthur Guinness, you know
Arthur
that
Guinness.
story.
I know that story. Yes, Arthur Guinness. He back in 1759, he found a brewery in that
An abandoned brewery.
an abandoned brewery, that no longer was being used, and he got the landlord to give him a lease. He signed a lease for 9,000 years, paying 56 pounds a year. And that lease is still in effect. As a matter of fact, when you go to the...
I'm going to correct you. That's 45 pounds a year, not 56. 45.
45 pounds?
45 pounds a year.
Wow. Okay, that's even better. That comes out to what, about $64?
Yeah, something like that. So, that's per year now.
Per year. It hasn't changed, hasn't gone up. He's still paying it. As a matter of fact, when you go there, I understand that they have the original lease in the floor, so you can read it when you...
Glass covered and everything.
Yeah,
it's like our Constitution.
Yeah.
Declaration of Independence.
Or yeah, either one. So, but yeah, and also that he started. Everybody thinks of Guinness, and they think of course, the stout that's in every bar, every Irish pub, every restaurant that you go into. You can usually find Guinness on draft, and he did not start out brewing that though. He started out brewing ales. That was his first beer that he brewed, but then
he started experimenting with porters.
He started experimenting with porters. He was the one, like you said, that reverse engineered it.
Yep.
Yeah. So. And then they wanted something a little. People were looking for something that's a little more stout, and that's when he came up with that black beer that everybody loves, Guinness.
Guinness Stout. Yep.
And although Guinness is not here today, we're going to talk about local. We're going to talk about local beers. And back to porters. What do we got?
Well, I think we have two. First one here is from Flying Machine, and it's called Roswell 1954. Now you know what that is, right?
Oh yeah, 1954 in Roswell, of course. That it was when the first UFO was seen at or crashed in the desert outside of Roswell, New Mexico.
That name, I have no idea.
Well, Flying Machine, they're all about things flying.
I guess so. Okay.
But Roswell is their porter. It's a very, as you can see, very dark beer.
Very dark.
And it has...
oh yeah, it's got a good smell.
Nice aroma. Good aroma. Now you're going to pick up from browns to porters, you're probably going to be more, it's going to be more chocolate notes.
Very chocolatey.
More coffee notes. And again, that doesn't come from infusing chocolate and coffee. It comes from the brewing of the different styles of hops along with the malt to get those aromas and flavors to come out.
Got a vanilla.
It does have just a tinge of vanilla to it. Has a little aftertaste in the back of the throat that kind of stays with you. But again, it's not a brown ale. This is going to something that's just a little heavier, and it's a smooth beer. Very. I mean, the mouth feels almost. It's not like Guinness. It's not creamy, but it's very smooth. And the beer itself, from Flying Machine, it's 5.8.
Do we know the ABV?
Yeah, that 5.8 is the ABV.
That's it.
Yeah.
The IBU. Do you know the IBUs on that?
I do not know the IBUs. It's not listed.
Not very beer.
But no, not very heavy on hops, but excellent flavor.
Very good flavor.
Our second porter comes from
Flytrap.
Flytrap.
That's in the bottle here.
Yes. Yes, they don't can, they bottle. And of course, they have it on draft at their tap room downtown Wilmington. Again, excellent space down there as well. And all of these breweries have wonderful spaces. We didn't talk much about Broomtail this time, but we did last time. It has a great unique family style place. It's got a lot of unique little rooms with overstuffed chairs. Flying Machine has actually two spaces. They have a restaurant, an oyster bar out in Wrightsville Beach, and then they have their brewery over off of Russell.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Randall. Or over on Randall, they've got this huge, it's where they do their brewing, but they also have this huge space, very nice outside, always something going on. Fly Trap is an amazing outdoor space.
Yes,
okay,
very,
downtown. They have a great little beer garden, and the inside's a little smaller, but it's a very nice place, and again, very dog friendly. So Fly Trap's beer is called Oatmeal Porter. So,
and
again, very dark.
Very dark.
Yeah. Nice body. Head retention is not bad at all. I smell and taste chocolate as I bring it up. And maybe just at the end there a little coffee. A little more than what I'm getting. I got out of Flying Machine.
Yep.
This has a very, very nice taste. Very smooth mouthfeel. This is an excellent example.
That's another
of a porter.
That's another drinkable beer.
Again, just a little bit hop forward, or I'm sorry, a little bit malt forward, but you can still taste the hops. And it's very good porter. Okay, Jimmy, moving on to stouts.
Okay, let's do that.
There are so many different types of stouts available out there. There's Irish stouts, American stouts. There are
Oatmeal stouts.
Oatmeal stouts.
Tropical stouts.
Yep. Irish extra stouts and export stouts.
Right.
Okay, so we can't possibly go over all of those today. But we've got two examples of very good stouts from the Wilmington area. And that is Wrightsville Beach's Oysterman.
Oysterman Stout. Yep.
And Blair's Breakfast Stout
from Wilmington Brewery.
Wilmington Brewery.
Yep.
And they're two totally different types of stouts. The stout being a more robust beer,
right.
Something that has more flavor, more stronger. In some cases, the Oysterman Stout's only about 4%. Okay, and it has a hop or IBUs with the hops are only 25.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but it is brewed with a roasted barley, which gives it the dark color. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it gives it that more robust flavor. You'll get overtones of coffee and cocoa in this beer, and it has a very nice. The head retention is not very good, okay, but the flavor and the aroma, you can smell the chocolate.
Yep, smell. I got a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, get a lot of cocoa out of this. And in the taste, it's just a slight bit of aftertaste, but you do get cocoa on the back of the tongue. Again, very robust beer.
Yep, but not a lot of IBUs.
No, not a lot of IBUs, and the alcohol content, again, very low with this one. Wrightsville Beach Brewery is a very
they have a nice restaurant.
Very nice restaurant.
Very, very nice restaurant.
They have very, very nice outdoor space. It's a great place to go for parties and for just a good time out with friends drinking or eating or both, because this beer, they say, is the best for drinking with local oysters. Okay, Jim, moving on to Wilmington Brewery's Blair's Breakfast Stout.
Right.
An excellent example of a stout. The beer itself has a lot of coffee and cocoa flavor. The IBUs are a little higher than what like the Oysterman would have. The IBUs are 60, and even the ABV, the alcohol content, is higher.
About 7%.
About 7%. The beer itself has a wonderful aroma when it comes to the nose. Yeah, good head retention. The aroma of cocoa and coffee hits you immediately as you bring it to the nose,
And the
the
taste
taste
is right
a
there, yeah.
lot of good coffee flavor. If you're a coffee lover, this would be an excellent stout.
That's why it's
that
called
you would
breakfast stout.
There you go. So, mouthfeel is, I don't want to say creamy, but
No, it's not. Totally,
very smooth.
Very smooth, though.
Yeah.
It's a very drinkable beer.
Very drinkable beer. This is an excellent example. Of course, it comes from Wilmington Brewery, which has their new venue. New, it's been around for about a year or so now. But the great place to go with friends and drink. They did put in the new bar.
Right? Yeah,
there.
they enlarged it.
Right, and they got a nice outdoor patio space. And again, like all breweries, very dog friendly. Most of the outdoor spaces are dog friendly at all of them, and some of them even the indoor, like where you don't have a restaurant situation tied to the.
Right.
But again, very, very good beer. All of these beers, I think that out of them, everybody would find one that
That you
suits
like,
their fancy.
yep.
Yeah. But that's going to wrap it up for this month. We hope that you learned something. We hope you enjoyed our banter, and we hope that you'll hit that subscribe button and like. And also, we hope you'll come back next time here on Hoppy Hour.
Meantime, that's Bob.
That's Jimmy. We'll see you again.